Hi, I'm Joe and welcome to the channel. In this Inspired By series, I like to write an original piece of music inspired by either an artist or a genre of music. I then show you each individual guitar part and some of the techniques that make up that kind of music in hopes that you can incorporate it in your own playing. In this video, we're going to take on funk. Let's go ahead and jump to the track and then I'll break it all down for you. So in my opinion, funk music is just universal. There's so many foundational pieces that you can apply to any genre of music whatsoever. There's key takeaways, key things that you can learn from funk music that you can apply to any genre, any style that you currently play. The one of them being, the biggest one, is learning to feel the pocket, feel the groove of a song. Another one is arrangement. And learning how to dance around that 16-note grid. You had to really be creative because what's happening here is, if you think about it, at its core, funk music can be very simple. In this example here, I was basically playing an A minor 7 chord. It was really one chord over the entire thing, but we were having to be creative with our parts to make everything fit together, and we were using our old favorite friend, the A minor pentatonic scale, to come up with all the little licks and bubble parts that you heard. Even the bass line started off with a very basic pentatonic run. So let's go ahead and dive in here a little bit and jump into guitar part 1. Guitar part 1 really I thought was going to be the bass line for this song, but it ended up just being its own part. It does mirror the bass though, as far as the basic movement from the A going down to the F sharp to the G. So this part goes like this. And you'll notice I'm using a key foundational technique in funk music. It's palm muting. I'm not playing the notes open. I'm muting it ever so slightly. And I'm opening it up where I need to accent the notes. Mute it, then open. So after I mute the first note, even if it starts this motif, this kind of rhythmic motif happens here. That on the G. You'll notice I mute and then open it up. I follow that same type of rhythmic pattern and muting technique for the F sharp and the G. And that kind of sets up the first part of the song. Now for guitar part 2, here we're starting to introduce a blues note, if you will. You know, one of the famous things to do when you're playing your pentatonic scale is to tweak that minor third up to imply a major third. So I'm sure you hear, tons of licks. So you've heard that 1,000 times in blues music. Well, in funk, what we're going to do is we're just going to play off of that idea and play this kind of little motif. And you'll notice a lot in funk music, what they're doing is they're emphasizing that third and the flat 7, or the G in the A minor chord, in the A minor 7 chord. That's all this part is. So a little bit of attitude, right? So for guitar part 3, we're basically going to copy guitar part 2, and we're going to come up a little bit on the neck and play this C here, and do that same tweak, and the same lick, G, A, G. But we're going to add on to it. We're going to add a D to E, to a G to an A. And you'll notice, again, I'm still doing a little bit of a palm mute, but I'm leaving the notes a little bit more open, especially on the tweak. So that's really one thing that you can experiment with, is playing with the way you're muting some notes and leaving some notes open. So for guitar part 4, we're going to borrow from the mighty Prince. And for me, Prince was such an inspiration, and to this day I still can't play like him. I'm working on it, but I can't get his right hand technique. You know, a lot of people would focus on his left hand and all the flashy things that he did, but for me, the power of Prince is in his right hand. His rhythm playing is impeccable. He's a rhythm machine. The guy lived in the pocket. It was amazing. If you watch some of those older videos, just check out his right hand and how well he's in the pocket all the time, always grooving with his hand. Well, I was recently watching a controversy video, and I noticed him doing a chord shape like this. And I was like, what is he playing? So I borrowed it for this song. So what's happening here is with our third finger, we're going to play the G, which is in our G minor 7. And we're going to play the root with our first finger. And that's really clashing. It's a second, right? It's these two notes played together. And I would notice that he did this with his third finger, because sometimes he would hammer on from the F sharp to the G and then play the chord. And that's exactly what we're going to do for this guitar part 4. So this technique involves something else that I'm doing. I'm going to take my pick, and instead of playing with the pointy end of the pick, I'm spinning my pick around, and I'm going to play with the rounder part. To me, this rounds out the sound a little bit. That was ugly. So here's the difference. Here's the pick with the picky part, the pointy part. You can hear how that's just brighter. Now I'm going to flip the pick around. It dulls the sound out a little bit. So for guitar part 4, the first part basically is just doing these little kind of stabs. And then what I do is I basically start picking it up a little bit as the song progresses. And we're going to do the same hammer on. And then and what do you notice that I'm doing here? This part is copying, but it's different notes. I'm playing the G, A to the C, D, where here I was doing D, E, and then G, A. So we're kind of making this sound like this. We're kind of playing those fourths. But one's playing up here, and the other part's down here. So again, hammer on. Nice. And that C note really sticks its head out inside of the mix, inside of the rhythmic parts that are leaving open. That's what's nice about this funk music. When you're coming up with these parts, try to find where you can have these parts have little holes where they stick their head out a little bit. And then to end the song off, all I'm going to do is I'm going to Well, certainly the funk got into Nash. He's really breaking it down here for us, really grooving to the music. Oh boy. Anyway, I hope you found some value in this video, and if you did, would you do me a favor and help me grow the channel by subscribing down below, hit the like button, and knocking the bell, and you'll be notified when the next video comes out. As always, I wish you a wonderful day.